Well, hello, everyone. My name is Alysse Bryson, and I am the co-host today for King County Recovery Conversations. And I am so excited to dig in today's conversation to my new friend, Wil, with Dad's Move.
Yes.
He's a certified peer counselor.
Yes.
I was working on that, and I wasn't sure if I was going to get it out right. Well, Wil, I'm so glad to have you here today.
Well, thank you very much for the invite. I appreciate it, and I love being here right now. I love it.
And so where should we start? Should we hear a little bit? I'd like to hear a little bit about you and then Dad's Move at the end, maybe.
All right, well, I can lead into that. Well, my name is Wil DeRouen. I am a proud father of 5 boys. I can't call them boys.
5?
Every time I say that, I stop everybody. Yes,
5?
5. All 2 years apart.
Okay, what? All 2 years apart?
26, 24, 22, 20, and 18, just like that. Ooh, I know Wusa.
Yeah.
5 young men, they're not boys anymore because they do still get my pocket. So I can't say daddy daycare is not over. It's still very amped.
I have a 27-year-old, and I'm well aware of that.
So you
trend.
know the gas.
Yeah,
I need some money for gas, or I want to go do this. Yeah, so it's still very lively in my neighborhood and in my pockets. So yeah, all of my young men are grown. All have their own jobs, doing their own thing. However, I did have one of them who has a behavioral health issue. I did not find out for a very long time until he had a full ride scholarship to UW.
Okay.
He went to University of Washington for 1 year, and then he stopped going, and then he just kind of seemed like he had zoned out. That's the best way I could just put on it, to be honest with you. Did I ever know what took place? No. Did he ever want to open up to me? No. But I accepted it for what it was, and he started going to counseling and things like that. And I never wanted to push anything on him of trying to dig into what was wrong with him, because I think that would be putting up another wall. And I'm getting to nowhere at the end of the day. So I just let it go, and I let him, whenever he's ready to open up to me, then the opportunity is always there. He still has yet to, but however, on the flip side, he has turned his life completely around. Got engaged, has a job, has his own apartment.
Ooh, all the adulting things.
So yeah, no more pockets for me. I can ask him for some money now. So
okay.
So all of my young men are doing very well, and that's the one that I really most are proud. I'm not gonna say most, but he's the one who caught my attention the most with his behavior issues and whatnot. So yeah. Other than that, 5 boys, good family foundation. I used to work as a paraeducator in North Thurston School District out in Lacey, Washington. Was incarcerated. Let's jump into that one. I was incarcerated for 3 years of my life. So yes, I am a convicted felon. However, I did do my time. I got out. Been out for 12 years. I vote to all these things that I never thought I would do. I interact with the police agencies and police individuals who I come encounter with on the daily basis. I'm not scared to drive with my seatbelt on. I'm not scared when I see or hear the sirens or anything like that. I'm proud to say that. Yes, I'm not always proud, but I'm a convicted felon. Yes, but I know what I'm not scared anymore. And I know how I could give back.
Well, the comeback is better than the setback, right?
Yeah, most definitely. Most definitely it is. Yes, it was a very, very, very hard, long-lived time. Me being incarcerated, being around a bunch of gentlemen, men or whatever the case may be, is not fun. But I always had visits every weekend. Even with my mom, my dad, pastor of my church, my children always came to see me. My godfather, everybody in the community came to see me.
And how old were your kids during that time?
Shoot, they were from elementary school all the way up to high school.
Okay.
So I missed a very good long period. It was a big drop. It was a big
an important chunk of time, yeah.
Yeah, and my mom and my dad helped out a lot to make sure that as much time that I missed, I would try to have it as much as possible. So they helped out a lot.
And so now you're at Dad's Move.
Yes, wonderful Dad's Move.
Well, you qualify because you're a dad, and you've got 5 kids. So besides that qualification, tell us a little bit about Dad's Move.
Dad's Move is a nonprofit organization that has been developed from some volunteers from a very long time ago. I've only been with it for a year and a half, but what we do is we try to provide as much resources for fathers, because fathers, needless to say, they don't have as much resources and outlets. Being a male, they always have something in front of their face. They don't want to talk or discuss about any issues in their life, let alone their children's life. You hear behavior or mental health, men.
No, thank you.
Goodbye.
Yeah, bye.
Deuces. See you later. So therefore, and especially by me being a minority men has that wall.
Yeah.
Go to work, come home, eat. Go to work, come home and eat. Dealing with emotions is not part of the sequence. It's a very hard thing for them, myself still, has to deal with. So therefore, me being a part of Dad's Move, nonprofit, free. Hey, here we go. Free resources. They come to us. They would like some assistance to talk to somebody who has been through the same type of situation that they have. A shoulder to cry on, friend, somebody just talk to. They have to go to court. Okay, what do you need? If I can't provide it through Dads with the resources, there's plenty of means that I go through throughout the week from other organizations in King County. Push the button. Here you go.
So you're plugged in.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
I go to more meetings than you can shake a stick at, I promise. I really do. So when they reach out to us, they send a referral and they pair us up with either an adult peer, and we do youth as well.
Okay.
So it's not just the parents, it's the youth. So we could collaborate towards the end of a certain period of time and see what the results are.
Wow. Do you have, and you don't have to name anyone, but do you have a story that you can share with us
I have
in
two.
the last year and a half that was like,
I have two in the same week almost.
Okay. In the same week?
Almost, no, in the same 2 weeks. Okay, when
Okay.
I first got on the Dad's Move, I got one. He was going through a situation when he had custody, things, all that, yada, yada, yada. I did, and I burned myself out with him because I am a go-getter. Sun up to sundown, I had to keep going. And there was a particular time when it was just a stalemate. And it wasn't as much like I thought it was. And I just felt like I was like, oh, I didn't do what I want to do. Well, it's not up to me to do what he wants to do. I have the resources. He has to do it on his end. So I got burnt out. And that word burnt out and take your wellness time. I'm like, come on, I know what you guys are talking about, wellness and stuff. Now I know.
you can't want it more than they want it. You just can't. I mean, you can, but you'll burn out.
Yeah, and that word kind of threw me off. I'm like, no, I'm always going. I got lunch. I could do this. I could take my wellness during my lunchtime and things like, no, you need to take that woosah time. You need that time every day. And afterwards, he just finished up and he came to a decision in his life where he put himself first instead of the person who was relying on him for him to progress. 21 years old. And so now he made a goal to go ahead and take his test to be not an EMT, but a firefighter. Okay, that was over a year ago. He got in contact with me last week. He passed his test for his physical and his written test. As a year of him, I was so proud of him, it was ridiculous. And he was the first person who I got burnt out behind. So a year and a half later, he went from, I don't know what I'm going to do, left, right, up, down, to now he has this, he could go ahead and put his application in. And then the second one was a gentleman, he started taking, his wife passed away on Mother's Day last year. So of course he's going to need some assistance. So he came to me, got assigned to me, whatever. And I would just sit there and just talk to him. Every week we would have a one-on-one and talk and whatnot. And it was just a shoulder to cry on. Whenever I sent him to something, he always followed through with whatever resource. And he said it helped him out so much. And he finished up, he was the first one to finish in our program, actually, 2 weeks ago. And so upon them exiting, I have to show this one. When I first did one of my first presentations in Chicago, I got approached to a gentleman who passed this on to me. It was a coin. It's like an AA coin. From father to father, he gave me two to pass out to somebody else. So I passed out one to my first one who finished, and then the second one because it's really heartfelt that I got it. So I want to pass on the good movement to them. So whenever they think of they're going through a bad time or something, just touch that coin you have in your pocket and know that at least I'm always here, so you can always talk to me whenever you want to. So it happened to be they were the first two through Dad's Move, and I happened to be a part of it. So
those are two great stories.
Yeah, it feels good. It feels really good.
Excuse me,
No,
I'm just getting all choked up. I'm just getting all choked up over your stories, Wil.
Oh, thank you, though.
So that has to feel so rewarding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It feels really good because I'm more of an emotional person. When I gave a speech at a conference in Chicago. I got teary-eyed there talking about my past, what I've gone through drug addiction, being incarcerated, not being too close to my father, but me and him rekindling things. Now, I can get emotional about it as well, but I think I have affected my audience better like that to know that I am not doing it on a facade. I'm doing it from real emotions of experiences I have gone through, and that's what peers need to hear. I've been there. I've done that. I'm going through it. And I still have problems to this day. Of course. So not only do I ask them, how are you feeling today? They reciprocated back and say, Wil, how are you doing?
Sure. Well, we're uniquely positioned to help the people we once were.
Yeah, exactly.
Full stop. Yeah. I mean, we just are. And I also have a lot of experience with peer-to-peer service, for lack of a better word. Yeah. And it works when all else fails. It just does. Like when I connect with someone who has been through a shared experience that I've also been through, even if the details are a little different, but if the fundamental parts of the story are the same, like we can just immediately connect.
You automatically click.
And dive right into the deep stuff.
I'm not a mechanic. I can't work on a car. Don't send me to somebody who can't. They bring people to me who has gone through somewhat experiences as a single father, that's number one. I also work with the people in the BIPOC community. Number two, people who've been incarcerated. Number three. 3 different areas I could touch, but they all could still be fathers. Not necessarily single, they could just still be fathers who just wanted to talk to somebody.
If you could go back and tell yourself one piece of advice, either to you while you were incarcerated or even before, like what would you tell your younger self?
Should have listened to my mom a long time ago.
Listen to your mom. Okay, if my son is listening to this recording.
I'm sorry, buddy. I didn't mean to get you in trouble. I should have listened to my mom and my parents and all the elders in my life a long time ago, because at me, at the age that I was, yes, I had a solid foundation. Up to a certain point, you're going to have that good foundation as being a youth from your parents. You're going to get it. But there's that point in time when you just decipher and go different ways. I should have continued to listen to my mom.
When you think you know everything,
every single
you're
thing,
invincible.
And don't know nothing.
Yeah, nothing.
At all.
Nothing.
She just keeps saying it loud. I should have listened to my mom a very, very long time ago, really. And she still tells what's funny is when I
You're
go
still
home,
listening to your mom, right?
Yeah, more so, shall I say. When I go home and I tell her, I was on another podcast, she'll be like, and I'll tell her these questions. She's like, what are you telling me about? I should have listened to you a long time ago. And she tells me that to this day. I go visit her twice a month, her and my dad, as much as I can with me and my wife. And sometimes it doesn't make sense. And I'll ask her a question. She's like, look, hurry up, spit it out. Just tell me what you were trying to get to, or just to get to the point so I could give you my answer. And then she's always like, well, you should have listened to me when I told you. Remember this? When you was in high school, you should have listened to me then. You wouldn't be in this position like you are now. But it's a 50-50 because I think I'm doing a pretty good job.
Yeah. So what do you tell your boys then?
I don't tell them anything. You know what? The things that I've learned, one thing I won't do with my sons, I won't put up the barrier so they can't talk to me, because I wasn't able to talk to my father. Me and my father talk now, but I'll never put it up so they can't talk to me. So I always tell them whatever they want to talk about, I'm here. Sometimes they'll go to my wife now, who isn't their mother, and they'll talk to her before me. As long as they can talk to an adult who I trust, kudos. I'm fine with it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So you talked about you are plugged into a lot of different communities.
Yes.
It does take a village
To raise that child.
to raise, and yourself, right? It takes a village to be in a village.
It sure does.
So what are some practices that you use to stay grounded and centered?
I always stay in communication. I always see, you know what I do? I watch the news a lot to make myself maintain centered. A lot of people say, I don't want to see the hostility and things that's going on. That keeps me in reality. What to do, what not to do, who to surround yourselves around, and what to engage in outside in the community. That has kept me from going back to my hometown, because everybody knows everybody's too small. I like being in Seattle. I never thought I would live here, but I like it. I mean, I see the same person twice, ever again, being in the city.
Well, you and I are both from Southwest Washington.
So you know what it's...
Thurston County, Lewis County.
Everybody knows everybody still.
Oh, I can't even go to the gas station there without running into somebody I know.
That's the whole thing right there. I try to stay grounded enough to I keep up on things that's going on in this world, because I always say this to people when I do a presentation or I talk. Snap of a finger, people are dying. Just like this. Multitudes of them. Once I become part of that, I want to make sure I live my life to the fullest. And to the best of my ability, by all means, necessary. Malcolm X said it in a way, but I want to do it the best way that I can. I stay engaged with, I come in contact with police officers from Thurston County, Pierce County, King County. I got in contact with this DEA agent who's coming down to do an event with us, who's going to partake in it and come see me down in Thurston County. And he works in King County. So who would have ever thought this ex-felon
is rolling with the DEA?
Chilling. It's a blessing.
Yeah.
So I stay active as much as I can. I don't care what goes on. If something catches my eye and I'm on my computer at home and I'm like, okay, I think we could link up or something like that, I stay with it.
Do you have practices in your day to day? Do you have any rituals in your day? Like, do you start with meditation or a walk, or like, what do you do to keep your own oxygen mask on you?
Usually, first thing is my coffee in the morning. I'll sit down, I'll just look at my emails, and then from 8 to 9 or so, give or take, I'll just take my little break and just chill and relax, and I won't mess with nothing to see what I have to do to start my day.
And how do you take your coffee?
Yeah, I take it quad shot espresso over ice in a grande cup with soy milk.
All right. And is it iced year round? Because I'm iced year round
all the time, girl. Come on.
Yeah, thank you.
And my wife is like, "You're tripping, though."
No, ice is where it's at.
What about you? How's your coffee? You're asking me questions. What about you?
When I'm at home, I work from home. I will have ice brewed coffee.
Okay.
It's not quad shots. It's just ice brewed coffee.
Okay.
The Starbucks blonde roast, to be clear, because blondes have more fun. And with a splash of half and half, and but no sugar or sweetener.
Oh, wow. Salute.
I'm sweet enough. I'm good.
Salute to you on that
I'm
one.
good.
Okay, all right.
But I just have one, but it is like 42 ounces or something crazy, right? But you pack the ice in, and then it's not as much.
Okay. Tomato.
Tomato.
All right.
Right.
All right.
Yeah.
Makes it sound good for you, I guess. That's funny.
But I don't. Yeah, I just have the one in the morning. I don't usually keep drinking like all day long.
I'm the same way. I drink 1 cup of coffee throughout the day, and then that's it. That's too much for me. It's too much wired.
Well, I'm in recovery from a lot of things, alcohol being one of them. Yeah. And so I still very much care about what I drink, and I can still drink too much of things. Okay. Like Diet Coke, I can't really keep a case in the house because
what kind of Diet Coke do you drink?
Just the OG Diet Coke. Okay, now you're going to talk to me about vanilla or cherry.
No. The Coke Zero.
No.
You said it so emphatically. She's
no Coke Zero, but I will take a Coke Zero over any Pepsi product.
I used to be opposite. I used to be Pepsi over everything.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
That's just one of those things. I don't know.
Interesting.
Yeah. Weird.
She
said interesting. Now it's weird to everybody. I hope everybody sees this.
Yeah. Well, this is a very riveting conversation we're having.
Yeah.
So what other nonprofits do you work with, or do you just really respect, or even are there any that you've used their services over the years for yourself?
No. I've had a very trustworthy support system. So I haven't been in that place where I've had to. However, being in King County, I have been, there isn't a day that goes by that I don't find a new one. I've been doing this for over a year. Push that button, just like COVID, yay or nay. But you push that button on a computer, so many of them pop up that I never knew existed on a weekly basis. And so I'll just connect with them, see what they offer, maybe set up a meeting or something like that, and then get the okay from my boss. And usually she trusts my judgment about how we could link up. And it's just getting to that level with me, I think. So by her giving me that trust and faith in doing that, I stay pretty busy.
There's a lot of great organizations out there.
That
all the time.
blows my
new ones
mind.
Popping up.
You're absolutely right.
How did you stay plugged in and connected to your community during the pandemic?
Oh, because I was born and raised out there so small. From Thurston County, it was very easy. And in King County, I had made enough by the time I got the job where I'm from up here, and I wasn't even working yet. I used to work for Amazon. And so I was just sitting around, got my big toe ran over. So time for me to start.
Your big toe? Just the one toe? I have questions.
I was working for Amazon, got my big toe run over. I'm thinking I could walk again. 2 and 2 is not 4 at this day in my head. I fall down a couple of times. And I was out for like 8 months. And that's how I got this job, just pushing a button on the computer, say I want to get back into doing what I love to do.
So getting your toe run over was a good thing.
Thank you.
Right? Some people make lemonade out of lemons.
Oh my gosh, this is so funny, you guys. This is so funny. All right. So I always stayed in contact with everybody, and the hardest thing for me was, patience is a virtue, doing this work on your computers. The response that you think you're going to get, next week, no, that's next month after that, or something like that, because everybody's schedule is so different. And so that took me a very long time at first to get used to always getting
a different flow.
An extremely different flow. And the way me being addicted to drugs at the time in my life is going to stick with me. Always want to be on the move all the time, all the time. That's one thing I had to slow down on. And it's hard to do.
I'm a recovered workaholic. I know all about that.
Yeah, it's extremely hard.
I'm kind of recovered-ish. If you're having fun, is it work? I don't know.
Yeah, it's kind of hard. And then my boss was like, well, put your phone on after, because we have our flex times. Put your phone on after then. It's hard to do because I always want to be there and available for the people who I work with. And it wasn't until maybe like 3 months ago, I'm like, all right, I'm off. I'm done. I just started doing that.
Yeah, oscillation and balance is a really good thing.
It really is.
And I have to get reminders all the time. But a couple weeks ago, I had been putting off. I knew that my hall closet needed to be cleaned out, right? And I knew that if I cleaned it out, I would feel so much better,
gosh.
right?
Yeah.
But who wants to clean out a hall closet? Nobody,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Nobody. But I finally did it. And then I got hit with this creative wave that helped me get through all these other projects.
Made you feel better, didn't it?
Made me feel better.
Yeah,
so it's like those things that we just stop and just take care of business.
Yep.
And sometimes taking care of business is doing nothing. It's just recharging.
Yep.
I've had the same experience of like one day, a couple months ago, I like took the whole day off and just watched TV. Like,
how did it make you feel?
Well, a little lazy, to be honest.
No, besides that.
Oh, okay.
I'm sure it made you feel.
I actually I think I brought better energy to the projects rested than I did when I
was actively doing it.
Yeah.
I got you. I understand exactly what you're saying.
I still overdo everything, to be clear. Like the addict in me is going to always be there.
Yeah, you can't deny it.
But it's the learning to check and the bumpers.
Yeah,
like I'm putting up insurance policies around.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I'm the same way. I mean, I do that. Like we have a BIPOC group I came up with for us to do as well. We do it every Tuesday. We got one tonight, everybody, or when everybody sees every Tuesdays. You know, we have a Q&A for the, and free questions from an attorney, things like that. Whenever I get involved in stuff like that, I don't stop until it's complete. I got all my weeks lined up for when I got to facilitate for this, and I know I could do a week, but I know I could do it and take my time and do it leading up to it, but no, I have to get it done like right now. No, I don't. I can wait. I have a co-facilitator who's doing his weeks, and then I'll do my week. I can wait. And that's when I just start doing it. So I, just like you said, I'm finding a little bit more peace.
Where do you hope to see yourself 5 years from now?
My own business. Not my own business, I would say my own. I would like to open up. I'm laughing because my old probation officer who wrote my letter of recommendation for me to get this job, she gave me an idea about me opening up a business or an LLC or something for me to like housing, re-entry back for inmates. Help them however I do it, but the best way, whether it be a place for them to go stay, always having a bus pass, whatever the case, but just full force out. That is my drive, is working with these guys who've been incarcerated. That's my thing right there. So I want to do something as far as that. In 5 years, I think it's a manageable thing. And it's the more meetings I attend, the more ups and downs I see with other organizations and whatever the case may be. I know I could fine tune this, that, or the other day.
Well, it takes a lot of people to help people through transition.
Village, girl.
And it's a transition when you get out. I don't know from my personal experience, but from people that I've spoken with and interviews I've had prior to this, even on this podcast, there's a transition point that has to happen. And if those people don't get wraparound services, we're not setting them up for success.
They're going back in. You're absolutely 100% right. And so to add on to that, I might have the opportunity to go into the prisons, pre-release, post-release, and help 24/7 dads. I'm looking at it. I think we're pretty close. And who gets to do that? Who gets to know a DEA agent? Who gets to go into and viably be invited to do that? So that's a blessing right there. And I think I'll have a really good impact.
Do you ever just stop and just scratch your head and be like, how did I get here?
No, I did it before I came here. I do it whenever I have the opportunity to speak or a meeting I go to. I say, what is going on?
Yeah.
What is really going on? But now I'm to the point I just keep going with it.
Have you ever, recovering out loud, sharing your story out loud, personal story, it's vulnerable.
Yes, it is.
And once you take the genie out of that bottle, you can't really put it back in. And I have done the same thing with my own story and my own journey. And I don't have any regrets. I don't know people that judge me. I'm sure people do. But I know personally that when I get people sliding into my DMs or pulling me to the side or sending me an email and saying, hey, I identify with this part of your story and I need help from my cousin, my sister, my brother, my uncle, my whoever. Can you help point us in the right direction with resources? That's everything to me.
I don't put, I'm in the same boat as you. I refuse to hide anything that I've gone through or what I'm going through, because then now I'm being a hypocrite. I'm telling somebody to do something that I can't do. I'm asking these people who's on my caseload to open up to me, but I won't do it to them. My mom told me I can't be a hypocrite. I can't do as I say, not as I do.
Well, in a way, we're learning out loud.
We're all doing it together.
We're just learning out loud.
It takes that village.
Yeah.
Just like
Which means I make a lot of mistakes out loud, too.
Exactly.
I mean, I look back at some videos I made during the pandemic. I'm embarrassed.
Embarrassed. And the best thing is when you open up to the people who you're on your case, so at least for me, and I open up and I say, my name is Wil, look, you're dealing with, this is who I am. I was incarcerated. I've been out, and I always make sure I say I've been out for 12 years and I could vote. When I throw that out them, they understand, wow, I know I'm dealing with somebody who was 100% legitimate and who doesn't mind sharing what he has been through at the most bottom and most vulnerable part of his life. And I'm a recovering addict. How about that? So I'll throw it and let them know, look, what you see is what you get.
Well, and it's not just that you can vote; it's that you
I
are voting.
choose to vote.
You're being active in the process, which means you're probably doing at least a little bit of research.
I'm
right?
trying. I'm trying.
Right? I mean, there's a lot to research, but
exactly.
And it's not all perfect, but you can't complain if you're not willing to jump in and try to do something about it.
Exactly. I'm given the opportunity to sit on a subcommittee, a committee through here in King County. One of the representatives where I live at has to reference me to sit on it. So I'm getting opportunities that most people do not get to do on the average. And I'm a ex-felon. So I'm going to take every opportunity that I can have and see what I could get out of it to help out fathers and get their voices heard. More resources for them, because there's very few to slim to none resources out there just for fathers. It is what it is.
Yeah.
There's very few, and you won't see too many, or if any other organizations that are strictly for fathers. And that's what we're here for, and we need.
No, I think that's really cool about Dad's Move.
Thank you very much.
And how many people are at the organization-ish? It doesn't have to be exact number.
Up to about 10 or so. We deal with youth and we deal with adults. And, my supervisor is the one, after they do referral, they pair us up to where they think they would fit best at, you know what I mean? And things like that. But yeah, I have a couple from who's incarcerated that I talk to or whatever. It's kind of different how they do things, but, and they feel in a good vibe just by talking to me. And they would tell me, I just want somebody just to talk. They will openly tell, I just want to talk to somebody.
And how does Dad's Move get funding? Do you guys do any fundraisers, or? We're
in the process of doing that. I don't get into the monetary things a part of it. Right. I'm just a spokesperson on some ends of it. I really don't know how we're nonprofit grant wise right now.
Through grants?
Yes. Yes, we are.
And so if somebody is moved, they hear this podcast and they go to check out the website and they want to get involved, what's the best way to go about
doing that? The best way to do is to look up Dad's Move on their website, not through Facebook, but just on our website. Okay. And you can just look it up and find it. Our referrals right there as well. All of the groups we have some IEP workshops coming up and all that kind of stuff. So everybody could look and see what we got going on.
Like an events calendars on there?
Yeah, everything.
That's cool.
She said, that's cool.
I like events calendars. I like being in community.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. All it takes is a push of a button. It's time consuming when you're doing your work like that, but you're going to run across some things that'll catch your eye.
And are they all in-person events, or are there some
ours is
online?
Virtually, like virtual? Our BIPOC, we have a BIPOC group tonight. We do it virtually strictly because a lot of fathers, they're always with their children.
Sure. And they're kind of spread all over and
everywhere.
Traffic.
Exactly. So therefore, we do a lot of things virtually, the majority of it. But when we have our caseload, it's up to the peer. If they want to meet in person, it's always at a neutral place.
Okay.
For safety reasons.
Sure.
And usually, the most part of the people I work with is virtual, and they feel more comfortable like that.
Yeah. Well, it's more convenient.
It is for everybody, because the fathers is working, the children got school.
Yeah.
All that kind of stuff.
It's a lot to manage.
It's extremely lot to manage. And then back to traffic again, all that kind of stuff.
So in our last few minutes here, what else should we know about you or about Dad's Move?
Dad's Move is on the rise. We're looking for some individuals to pair up with. Any kind of donations is very well likely admired, and we would love that. We have some events. We even have one for Juneteenth coming down to Thurston County that I was able to put together twice. This is our second year, so come on, check that out, everybody. BIPOC Unity tonight. We have a Q&A for special needs children, and we have one for an attorney as well coming up. Check it out on our website, everybody.
Well, and we will put all that information in the show notes.
Please do.
Of where we can find the website and the Facebook page, and I think there's also an Instagram.
Yes, there is.
Account.
Yes.
And where can we find you online if somebody wants to find you?
Oh, you can just look up my name and just find me. I don't mind sharing that. My email. You can send out my email as well.
Okay,
as a contact.
We can put that in the
King
show
County.
notes.
Just because I'm in King County, I go everywhere. Pierce County, Thurston County. I do it all. So I'm kind of like the spokesperson, somewhat, I guess. They trust me enough.
I just love your energy.
Thank you. Everybody tells me that. You know what I mean? You only live step of a finger one time, everybody, really. You enjoy it. It's easier said than done, but you do have the support, and I'm here for everybody the best way I can.
I love that.
Thank you very much, man.
Well, thank you so much for being
here
today.
Thanks for the invite. And everybody just keep on up, and, your kids is always looking out for you, and your parents got the resources as well, especially these fathers. I'm right here. We have plenty of them.
That is good
really,
to hear
really.
from Dads need voices too.
Yes, they do.
Yes,
they really
they
do.
do.
And lastly, a lot of times you see these mothers or females sitting there, they're always well represented to the fullest. We need the magnitude and the multitude of fathers to match us so that we can collaborate together and not apart.
Yeah.
No more division. Unity.
Inclusion.
Yeah, unity like BIPOC. Gotcha. High five.
Oh, a high five. We're high-fiving again. You guys can't see us, but we've been high-fiving this whole time.
Okay.
Well, that's all the time we have.
Yeah,
thank you so much for tuning in to King County Recovery Conversations. Please make sure to like, subscribe, follow, all the things. And we will be right back here in a couple weeks with the next episode.
Thank you, everybody. And thanks for the invite. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
All right.